Hey fellas, had a couple other old magazines I ran across, old pulling magazines. Got quite a few of them. Thought it might be interesting if you want to take a look in one or two. So let's take a gander at this one. It's pretty interesting. That's the way pulling should have never evolved from. It should have just stayed like that. We've been much better off, in my opinion. But I know you can't stop such things. Things go on. But anyhow, let's take a look at it. The Puller Magazine, October 1977. Just thought this was a really cool cover for the Puller. Got Harold McQueen on there on his 4430. He went on to win the 9,000 pound class. Now I want you to notice something. Look at these happy, excited people in the crowd. This guy is really having a good time, urging on Harold. Really anxious for him to do well. People standing up there on their feet watching. This guy here, he's really pleased, happy as it can be, enjoying the show. Watching Harold McQueen on his John Deere Superstock going up the track. Of course, we have a advertisement for Crowder clutches in there. Year-round cabs were still sponsoring, even back then in '77, the NTPA. Here we go. Here's a picture of Ralph Chamberlain Jr. on the Honker 2 Allison powered modified tractor. Had a I'm not sure if he still had the Oliver rear in that or not. Of course, there's Danny Dean on the Rooster. A couple pictures of him. I think he went on. I don't know if he went on to win the class or not. Tim Stauffer on Sneaky Pete. He won at Bowling Green that year. I don't know if it's one of the first times he had won there or not. There's Don Harness. I guess he won one or two classes. There's a story from the Indiana State Fair. And the modifieds back then were just much more interesting. This guy here, he's got a homemade turbo setup, twin turbo setup, blowing through fuel injection. You turn the tires real good. It's just way more interesting back there. And of course we have our hero Dave Stengel on solid junk, the G1000 in 12,000 pound super stock class. A Puller Photo Gallery. Let's see, I guess that's Ken Brabeck on his Alice Chalmers D21 Big Thunder. I guess his brother pulled 180 or 190, whatever it was. I think it was 180 in the later classes. Here's Wayne Longnecker with his Allison. This is Gary Hansel, Frankton, Indiana. He had a Cockshot 40 with two 460 Lincolns on it. The modified class was worth watching back then. You gotta admit that's cool. And there a front 986 with the 4-post roll thing on it. Twin turbos. Stan Golt of Bridgeport, Nebraska. I always thought that was one of the coolest tractors. Stanley's Steamer, we called it. Oh, here's one. I guess he calls it Bad Company. It's another Allison. I tell you what, that looks like the old Dale Haley, Foxy Lady, or Orange Comet. Dave Haley. I don't know if it is or not, if it just looks a lot like it, but anyway. And you had Len McVicker, 4320. He called it a 4320, but I think it was just a 4010 with a 4320 engine in it. He's from Canada, St. Thomas, Ontario. Then we have Ronnie Reed, Longford, Kansas. He was a good puller back in the day. We're giving lots of pulling results over here. They used to have something for the women, the puller's wife. I guess this was one of the wives, the Rittinger family, Mike Rittinger, I think. And they had the marketplace for sale. The prices are crazy low. Anyway, cool old magazine. Here's one from 1976. It's got some cool pictures in it. I thought as an extra added thing I would show you a few pictures in here. This is back when they were still doing jeans comments by Eugene Sellers. I think up until recently, he may still be pulling up in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure. I know a couple years ago I saw him. John Deere Row. Bunch of super stocks lined up there. That was a day. Those are real tractors. That's the way it ought to still be. There's Dale Haley on the orange. I don't know what he called that thing. Rod Baker, Dixon, Illinois. The modifieds are interesting. And there, a front tractor pulling a wheelie. Look at all that weight he's got on back that thing. Bob Thompson, Illinois Street. Got a little caster wheel on front. That was good days when you could pull an old Oliver 88 in the super stock class and win. Bacon Special. Bruce Hutcherson, one of his early tractors. Bob Williams. I had the pleasure of pulling against him down at Galax, Virginia. Not sure, I think I might have beat him in one class. At that time he was running 4 turbos. Some of our friends up north of the border in Canada, Gord Autred, or how you ever pronounce his name. Yep. Neat old modified. Bill Douglas. The Spook. Is he from Canada? Yeah. Oh, Les Hawk. Kinzers, Pennsylvania. Yeah, that was a really good pulling tractor. Now, this fella, Don Thomas. Pittsboro, North Carolina. I believe that's the gentleman that was running the sled down there when I was in Statesville. I think. He was a Don Thomas in North Carolina pulling internationals, and we had a Don Thomas, more likely going by Donnie Thomas or Donald Thomas, up here pulling Deere power tractors. Well, actually, he's on the back cover. Yep. Except I think that's Craig Leggett driving or somebody. That's Don Thomas's tractor. 4020, and this is Don Thomas from North Carolina's super stocker. 856. A Diggin' Dozen Allison. And then there's the minis. Looked like to me he got himself kind of sideways, didn't he? And Don Barry from Missouri on his 1150. That was a big tractor. Pulled a 12 super stock and 12 unlimited. Yep. Robert Collins from Pulaski, Georgia. I say these minis back then, The minis were cool. Yep, had the mini sled. That was fun then. Even the modifieds were neat. They were just neat tractors. This is the women's section, but she's not just a puller's wife, she's also a puller. Pull a mini. Margaret Smith, I think her name, yeah. And there's the classifieds and the back cover. Like I say, Donnie Thomas's 4020 on the back. Guess where is he pulling at? That's somewhere down south. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed looking at them. I did. Always enjoy looking at old pulling magazines. Wish we could go back to those days. Luckily we got the Legends circuit. That helps. And hey, just a little teaser. I want you to know I've had some requests for doing a story on this old pulling tractor, solid junk. Minneapolis Moline G1000 from back in the day. Dave Stangl was the driver. Ron Perry kind of was the mechanical wizard that put her together. He's always been one of my heroes in the pulling line, and I didn't think I was in a position to do a video about it, but I don't know, I looked around and I've got some information and some neat video clips and some old pictures from old pulling magazines, and so I said, well, maybe I do have access to more info than a lot of you, so that's coming up. Look for it.